Okay, you guys, we're back, and welcome to this episode of Married
Married
in
in Real
Real Life.
Life.
And today's episode is titled I Married My Best Friend, and we're talking about the importance of friendships in a marriage. You ready, boo?
Yes, ma'am.
For the last few weeks, we've been talking about the importance of having a foundation in a marriage and how important that foundation is. And friendship, by far, is the most important foundation you're going to have in any relationship, especially in a marriage. Since we started this podcast, we've been talking about the importance of friendship and how it's so important to have a solid um, foundation. And to me, that foundation is a friendship. So that sets the standard for your marriage, a relationship, or situationship, whatever you want to call it. But especially in marriage, it sets the stage because if you have a strong friendship, in our case, we are best friends. But if you have a strong friendship, then you are going to be able to handle whatever comes your way. Because you think about it, like we're best friends. Best friends are on cue. Like you can pick up the phone, call your best friend. That's your shopping partner. That's your girl. Let me tell you. For women, and so for us, we are each other's best friend. Sometimes I forget, like I'm talking to my husband.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking to my husband. I'm not talking to
Your
another
sister.
female. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
talking to my husband because we are just that close, and it's so very important to me that we maintain that friendship because it's going to help us when it comes to issues that we may experience in our marriage because we have that solid foundation. A lot of people, I think, get married for the wrong reasons. Finance, when the money gone, they gone. Romance, well, when that slows down and you're trying to find somebody else to keep up with you and all of that stuff, or you end up cheating. Um, so I think that when you have a solid foundation at friendship, you are able to communicate. You are able, so it eliminates those things that could happen because you just don't talk. So I feel like friendships, in our case, best friends, are so important because it's going to help hold your relationship or your marriage through. We talked about blending of our family. We talked about baby mama drama, baby daddy. We talked about all those things, and a lot of things that could have easily caused us to walk away from one another. And I feel like we were friends before we were anything. That's what before we were anything else, we were good friends. And that just carried on, and we just kind of added on to that, added on to that, added on to that. And so now, we are able to sustain anything that comes our way. We have been able to sustain anything that comes our way, and it came from us being um, friends first. I think it's so important. How do you feel about you know
Well,
friendships?
I feel like by us being friends in the beginning, and as you said, just building upon the friendship into a relationship, just made what we have even stronger.
Yeah.
Um, the the best part about being friends with your spouse is, I mean, you with them all the time.
Yeah.
Y'all talking, joking. It just makes life a whole lot funner.
Yeah.
But as you say, a friendship to a marriage is extremely
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. And I think that you should work on, if your friendship is not solid, you shouldn't get married. If you're not friends first, you shouldn't cross the lines in being married. You don't think it's gonna change. I don't think you're a good friend to me. Then you're probably not gonna be a good husband to me.
Yeah, that you'll be an even worse husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like you should work on a friendship. That should be your homework before marriage. Can we be friends? Are we solid as friends? Right? And then get into a marriage. But I think people skip that part, the most important part, because they get overshadowed with love blinds us sometimes. It's cute. And you think, oh yeah, we can make it as a couple. But if you aren't friends first, you don't really know what's gonna happen because you don't have that foundation. So if anything, when the road meet the road, are you gonna be able to stand in the gap with me, or are you gonna go the opposite direction? And you hear it so much where people go their separate ways when it get tough, they can't handle it. There's no communication.
But that's one of the main things of being friends
Mhm.
is communication.
Yeah.
Even though I don't talk a whole lot, but
You trying to say I do?
yeah, you said it, not me.
Whatever.
but I mean, when it pertains to being friends, of course we gonna talk,
Mhm.
or I'm gonna talk because I'm around you all
Right.
the time. But the basis for a solid relationship is friendship first, and you just gotta make sure you're available to your friend
Mhm.
as far as being able to conversate about
Mhm.
anything,
Mhm.
or if something going on with you and you want to share, and if I can help you out, I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah, but that's the way friendships are. You think about best friends, and not in the sense of this is another spouse. Think about your best friend, like if your guy best friend or your female best friend, and you think about the things that y'all go through together, the things y'all talk about. You feel like that's your best friend. You can share anything with your best friend. So you gotta look at, to me, that's how it should be with your husband. Like your husband should be your best friend. Me and you can hang out, we can shop, we eat out.
Watch sports.
I mean, exactly. I mean, football, basketball, you know me so well, we know each other so well, we just click, right? And I think that's just it. From day one, I think our chemistry, and we just kind of built off of that friendship. What's the other, where was it to go? Either we was gonna be the best of friends, or we was gonna get married. So we are the best of friends, and we are married. So we got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So that's basically how it should be in a marriage. But I do think that people get married for all the wrong reasons. And as soon as it get rocky, somebody gonna run the other way. So, if you ask me, my advice would be make sure, like I said earlier, that you are really marrying your friend, like y'all are truly friends. And we know how true friendships are. I ain't talking about no shaky friend either. I ain't talking about that friend you gotta watch with one eye open and one eye closed. I'm talking about a friend that you can trust with everything that you have.
Literally.
Yeah.
Your life. I can trust you with my life.
Exactly.
You can trust me with yours.
And no doubt. And that's the way it should be. Like I said, people get married for the wrong reasons. Sometimes we just make bad judgment calls. Sometimes, people have got married because you feel like you really want to be married, and you start settling because, for women, I'll speak for a woman, we may be getting older. And we feel like, okay, I'm getting older, and, I don't want to be myself. So he got about 75% of what I'm looking for. And so we start settling for whomever that other person is. You don't really like them like that, but you tolerate them, knowing before you even got married, I don't even like them. You think about when we had the pandemic, how many people realized that, oh yeah, I don't even like you because you had to be in the house with them.
Yeah, you was stuck in the house together for such a long time.
Yeah, and went their separate ways.
In a lot of cases during the pandemic, that caused a lot of relationships to end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you was friends with that person, y'all relationship got even stronger.
Exactly. And you think about us all with our health issues, if we weren't like really friends.
Yeah. We wouldn't have made
we wouldn't have made it.
We wouldn't have made it through yours.
Exactly.
Time,
Exactly. Soon as that times get tough, you running. So friendships hold you. Friendships are the foundation. So again, you have to truly be friends with someone before you even think about marrying them. I wouldn't even go to that step first. If you don't have a friendship, don't even think about getting married. That's just what it is. Yeah, we might can hang out and, it's cute and all of that, but you know what a real friend is. And you know without a shadow of a doubt, the person you with is not a real friend. It's a 99% chance that they ain't going to be good as a husband or a wife either. And so I don't care how good they look. I don't care how much y'all enjoy each other in the bed. I don't care about any of that stuff, because that too changes. You got to make room for those things. When you don't have a true solid friendship, you just looking that's going to be the way that it is all the time, when in reality things going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Your body going to change. So if I marry you because your body is bad, it going to be bad when that body get bad, okay?
I mean, not just your body, your mindset,
Your
gonna
mindset,
change.
yeah.
So as humans, we constantly growing.
Right.
Or we should be
Yeah.
constantly growing.
Exactly.
So what you like when you was 20 might be different than what you like when you're 30, 40.
And no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. And honestly, if you really think about it, how we were when we were 30, and we still that same way at 50. That's the problem anyway.
Yeah.
So you got to make room for change. But a lot of people don't realize those things don't change, and that's why you have to have. I go back, and we're gonna keep talking about it. We're gonna talk about how important it is to be friends.
And even though we friends, we have to allow each other to grow and do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And just support each other.
Yeah, in marriages, sometimes one of the other may clock out a little bit, and you as the spouse, you can't clock out because the other one clock out. Sometimes I remember when we went to counseling, Reverend Thompson told us sometimes you're gonna have to give 60, and you ain't gonna get but 40.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to get a little bit more than what you get in return. But that's part of being married. But that's also part of being good friends. That okay, my spouse is, maybe they're going through something. It's your job as a friend to, at that point, that's when your friendship really kick in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you kick in and you be supportive, because you don't know how they feeling, and maybe they're not talking to you, but as a friend, you know something wrong with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
And your job is to support them through that and not to turn the other way. And that's where a friendship come in, right? You wouldn't want to do anything to, or if you're a real friend, you wouldn't want to do anything to hurt your friend or to jeopardize your friendships, and you want to do everything in your power to help your friend, to uplift your friend. And so that's what marriages is all about. To me, that's the biggest part of it, is a friendship. The marriage is just where you say we so good of friends, and then we're gonna seal the deal, and we're gonna become husband and wife. Okay, that's just an upgrade from a friendship. But if you don't have that, then you don't get the upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the importance of friendship, really, it outweighs the marriage. Marriage is just a bonus of being good friends. But if you hit that marriage and you ain't friends, then you done messed up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You just had a good wedding, a nice pretty wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that,
And waste of money.
yeah, because then y'all can't even have a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to hang with your friends more than you want to hang with your husband.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, to me, that's the very important. That's a very important part. But it really, as far as us as a couple personally, that is what has sustained us through a whole bunch of things that we have been through. The fact that we were friends, the fact that we could communicate with one another, the fact that we knew each other so well from being good friends. We picked up on each other's shortcomings. Like, all right, I got you. You good. I got you. You got me. And but that has really, that is in itself is what has if someone was to ask me, that's what I would tell them. Like, how in the world did y'all make it through all the things? We are friends. We are best friends. That's how we made it through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he my husband, but that's my best friend. So that's the importance of, to me, of a relationship. I feel like that has been what has kept us, that solid foundation that has kept us through all the things that we've been through, that we probably wouldn't have made it through hadn't we had that. And my advice to anybody that's thinking about getting married is to make sure that you are marrying your best friend.
But then, you can be friends, but you gotta prioritize the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Even away from the kids, we gotta make sure
Right.
we catering to each other. I'm trying to look out for you. You looking out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's nothing that you could say or that you would want that I wouldn't try to get for
Right. You're right.
and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you just want to see your friend, your spouse happy.
No doubt. I mean, you got to think about some of the things that I probably do. I know in your head you be thinking like, because he called me fat girl, and I know in your head you be like, fat girl, did you really think about that? But your answer is always what you need me to do.
Yeah.
That's your answer to me.
Yeah.
What you need from me? What you need me to do? And you let me figure out whether it's right or wrong for me or not. And you know me well, and that's the other part about being good friends, you know me.
Mm.
So you pretty much know if that girl put it in her head, I'm gonna just let her figure out whether it's right or wrong for her. So as long as it don't jeopardize us in too much, I'm gonna let her figure out for herself that it's that girl you can't. She'll figure it out.
Yeah, I ain't gonna let you fall off a cliff.
Right.
Man. I'm there. If you think you can do something, I'm there to support
Right.
you. That's what we supposed to do.
Exactly.
So,
And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's what friendships are about. But you think about how many people are in relationships that's jealous of one another. They don't want the other one to succeed. They don't want the other one to do better than them in the relationship. It's like they be trying to hold each other down instead of lifting each other up. And it sounds as crazy as it sounds, it happens in relationships all the time. You know, people try to hold each other back. That's never the case here.
No, I would want the best for you.
Exactly.
No matter what.
To me, if we together, it's a bonus to both of us. If we are working together. So let me add that important piece in there. When we are working together. So and that's the other thing, a lot of couples don't work together. They work as if they are independent. Like they ain't in a relationship. You do you, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet at halfway at the time when time to pay the bills. I just pay my part, you pay your part. That's the basis of their relationship. I don't want a relationship like that.
No.
I don't want a relationship. I love our relationship. I love that we can sit and talk, and this podcast is pretty much how we are anyway. I love that we can sit and talk and have conversation. There's no judgment. I feel like I can share, and I mean the stuff that I share with you, I'll probably be like, I know sometimes you be like, I don't even want to hear that.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
You can say.
Yeah.
TMI.
Yeah.
That's how
But
we
that's
talk.
that's it. I don't know how to not share with my best friend. I don't know how to cut it off, and I ain't gonna tell him that because I don't want to share. No, that's my best friend. I'm gonna share it with him. That's just what it is. So I love that for us, and I pray that I know in a perfect world, I wish all relationships were like that. I wish all couples were best friends.
Yeah, I mean, because you spending time together, y'all might as well have fun together.
Yeah.
Because we definitely have fun
We
together.
do have fun together, whether we out or in. We have fun together.
No matter who we around.
Yeah, we're going to have fun together. So we are each other's best friends. So it's nothing that I don't feel like I can share. I don't have to hide anything from you. I don't have to not share stuff with you. At the end of the day, I'm going to come through you for most of it if I don't share anyway at some point. So might as well tell you up front and see where you can help me at. So but that's just the good part of being friends first. Because once the wedding is over, then what? So you have to make sure that you are each other's best friend. Your homeboys, your homegirls, or whatever, they good, but you better make sure that your home where you're gonna be at most of the time, you better make sure that's good. Make sure that's the best, not just good, but the best. And that comes from you openly communicating, sharing, your ups and downs together, being able to survive those ups and downs, being able to, talk to each other through those things, share your dreams, watch each other grow, right?
And help each other grow.
Yes, exactly. Like we shared last week about how you develop the relationships with the kids. You spend a lot more time with them because I was going to school and working, so I had less time. You got to think that, and we were just young married. We hadn't been married long, but go ahead and do what you got to do. That was your thing to me. Go ahead and do what you got to do. I got you.
But that go along with what Reverend Thompson spoke to us about before we got married, about sometimes the percentage you give will be different than how much your spouse gives.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it could be 80-20, 90-10.
Yeah.
It don't matter as long as you putting forth effort.
Exactly.
And we working together.
Exactly.
So I mean, like I said, you wanted to go back to school. So as the man, your husband, it's my job to hold everything down while you.
And you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made sure everybody was straight. The children was having a good time, giving me time to, not only that, the fact that when I wasn't in school or wasn't working, the fact that you knew, like, I know you got to be tired. You know, come on, kids, let's go and let Tamika
mama
rest.
get some rest.
Yeah. So even to think that much.
But that's just knowing your spouse too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's part of being friends
Yeah.
too. I can see certain things. So,
Mm-hmm.
y'all go ahead and get some rest.
Yeah.
I got the kids. We're gonna go do whatever, and
Yeah.
then we come back. And
Yeah, and now I got some rest. Now I can function. Yeah, so those are important. They may seem small, but they are so important. You know, because when you're friends, like you said, the fact that we are friends, you understood that without me having to say, I'm tired. I need some rest. You just automatically knew, like, let me take the kids. You just, if you want to stay in the house, if you want to go, whatever. But, you know, you can rest. I got the kids. You're going to do what you got to do. So you did spend a lot of time with the kids so that I could pursue my dreams, you know? And that is, I mean, it allowed me to be where I am right now.
Well, as a family, we all better for that.
Yeah.
So, you know, something like it's give and take. Sometimes you gotta take a little bit more. Sometimes you give a little bit more. But it all work out in the end.
Yeah. I think couples, and when you don't have that friendship, you're going to be quick to run.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it gets tough, you're going to run.
They looking for any excuse to
Yeah,
run.
anything. I'm out. Yeah, all right. Well, you know, nothing.
Versus if y'all are friends, you know it ain't gonna be pretty much nothing that's gonna come between y'all.
It's nothing. It's nothing that's gonna tear us apart. You know. So, but that's not the case with a lot of couples. A lot of couples, like I said, they get married. And I think they are excited about the idea of being married, not understanding what it takes to have a solid marriage, which is that friendship, that foundation first. So they want to build a house, but they don't realize that you don't have the foundation to build a house. And until you build that foundation, your house is not going to be solid. Foundations is what the house is on. And if that's rocky, then you're going to have a shaky situation going on, okay? So I think that couples just, you know, you get excited. You know, it might be he putting it on you in the bedroom. You might be putting it on him. Y'all, you know, y'all do things. Y'all have fun together. But when that slows down, then what? Do y'all have what it takes to stay together when all of that stuff slows down? Because it will slow down. It will slow down.
And it's gonna be different things that come up in the marriage that's gonna cause problems. It could be financial, it could be something with the kids, it could be somebody's health. So if any of that come into play and your relationship is not solid, anything can cause it to break up. And
if you're looking for a reason to go, you can't wait for something to happen. You looking. You could breathe wrong. The other one could breathe wrong and, oh, I'm out. I don't even want to be here no more. You know, my husband is my husband. I can't see myself as his best friend, him being my best friend, doing anything to jeopardize our friendship. Whatever he's going through, we going through. Whatever, and that's vice versa, right? So whatever the problem is our problem, and we're gonna figure it out together. It's not a you problem. It's not an I problem. It's our problem. And I think that when people get married, they tend to forget. You know, it's your problem. Oh, he did no. I don't care. He did it. It's y'all now. Then y'all have to sit down and figure out how y'all going to work it out together. Because you never want your spouse to feel like they are by themselves. Because that's not what they got married for. They didn't get married to be by themselves, or else they would have stayed by themselves. And so it's a we. It's not an I. It's us. Our. Not yours, mine. It's ours. That's the way it is. Any last words before we close it out?
Well, I've seen many relationships in my lifetime that couples was married, but they weren't friends. You could tell just by the way they would communicate to each other. And you will wonder, well, why are they even married? It sounds like they don't even like each other. So I just don't understand how you could be married and not be friends with your spouse. So just work on being friends.
Yeah.
And the marriage will work itself out.
That's right. And that is our episode of Married in Real Life.